Imagine a world teeming with creatures of incredible size and form. These animals lived millions of years before humans walked the earth. Among them were giants that challenge our imagination. Today we embark on a journey to uncover some of these lost wonders. We will explore ancient relatives of crocodiles that surprisingly ate plants. We will also marvel at colossal birds, some taller than any living today. These discoveries open a window into Earth's deep and fascinating past. These prehistoric giants are not just monsters of myth or legend, they are real animals whose bones have been found preserved in rock. Paleontologists, scientists who study ancient life, piece together their stories. Each fossil fragment adds another detail to the picture of these creatures. Understanding them helps us understand the history of life itself. It shows us how animals can adapt and change in remarkable ways. Some of these animals are unlike anything alive in our modern world. Their existence reminds us of the planet's ever-changing nature. So, let us step back in time into a world ruled by giants. Section 2. The surprising herbivores, Crocodyliforms Reimagined. When we think of crocodiles today, we picture fearsome predators. Modern crocodiles and alligators are known for their powerful jaws and sharp teeth. But the ancient world held a surprising secret about their relatives. This group, known as Crocodyliforms, was much more diverse. Many ancient crocodiliforms were not carnivores at all. Some of them, remarkably, had evolved to eat plants. Scientists found evidence for this herbivorous diet in the fossils themselves. Unlike the simple, conical teeth of modern meat-eating crocodiles, their teeth were different. Many herbivorous forms had complex, multi-cusped teeth, almost like molars. These teeth were clearly not designed for tearing flesh. Instead, they were well-suited for grinding and crushing tough plant material. Jaw mechanics in some species also showed adaptations for processing plants. This was a significant departure from the typical crocodile lifestyle we observe now. These plant-eating crocodiliforms were particularly common during the Mesozoic era. They explored and thrived in a much broader range of ecological niches. Imagine these creatures, crocodile-like in form, yet browsing on vegetation. Section 3. The Pug-Nosed Croc of Madagascar. One of the most remarkable examples of an herbivorous crocodiliform is this creature lived in what is now Madagascar. Its fossils date back to the late Cretaceous period, around 70 to 66 million years ago. Was not a giant like some of its relatives. It was quite small, measuring only about 2.5 feet in length. Its appearance was also very unusual for a crocodiliform. It had a very short skull and a distinctively pug-nosed snout. This gave it an almost mammal-like or even turtle-like face. The body was covered in heavy armor, bony plates called osteoderms. This armor would have offered good protection from predators of its time, but perhaps its most telling feature was its teeth. Possessed clove-shaped teeth, scientifically termed globidont dentition. These teeth were not sharp or pointed for tearing meat. Instead, they were blunt and robust, ideal for crushing and grinding. Scientists believe these teeth were used to process tough plant material. Its diet might have included items like roots, tubers, or hard fruits. Section 4. The Chinese croc with unique teeth. Another fascinating herbivorous crocodiliform is, its name, paradoxical chimera crocodile, hints at its unusual nature. This creature was discovered in China in deposits from the early Cretaceous period. This means it lived approximately 125 to 100 million years ago. Was a bit larger than estimated to be about 1 meter long. Like other herbivorous forms, its most distinctive features are found in its skull and teeth. These features set it apart dramatically from its carnivorous cousins. The teeth are particularly noteworthy and quite astonishing. They were not the simple peg-like teeth of typical crocodiles. Instead, it possessed complex molar-like teeth known as molariforms. These teeth were broad and had multiple cusps or raised points. This dental structure is strikingly similar to that seen in some herbivorous mammals. Such teeth are highly effective for grinding and shredding plant matter. They suggest a diet that required significant processing in the mouth. This was a sophisticated adaptation for a plant-based lifestyle, was well equipped to consume and digest vegetation. Section 5. A wider look. Diverse plant-eating crocodiliforms. Beyond and many other crocodiliforms explored plant-based diets. The evolution of herbivory was not a one-time event in this group. Instead, it appears to have occurred independently in several different lineages. This suggests that eating plants was a successful strategy for various ancient crocodiliforms. These creatures were found across the globe, particularly on the southern supercontinent Gondwana. Their diversity in form and function is truly remarkable. One such example is discovered in Cretaceous Tanzania, was a small, slender crocodiliform, perhaps resembling a cat in build. It had highly differentiated teeth similar to mammals, with incisor-like, canine-like and molar-like forms. While possibly omnivorous or insectivorous, its teeth showed adaptations for processing varied food. This included the ability to shear and grind, useful for some plant materials. It was likely a nimble terrestrial creature, very different from modern aquatic crocodiles. Another intriguing example comes from late Cretaceous Brazil. This crocodiliform was, as its name suggests, heavily armored. Its body was covered in robust, flexible bands of bony plates like an armadillo. Was also a terrestrial animal. Section 6. Giants of the Sky and Earth. An introduction to prehistoric birds. Now let us turn our attention from ancient reptiles to another group of fascinating giants. These are the giant prehistoric birds that once roamed our planet. The term giant prehistoric bird covers a wide array of large avian species. These birds lived across different geological epochs, from the Eocene to the late Pleistocene. Some even survived until relatively recent times, overlapping with early humans. Giant in this context usually means birds exceeding 2 meters in height, or it can refer to birds weighing several hundred kilograms. Many of these colossal birds were flightless, having lost the ability to soar. These enormous birds were not all closely related to one another. They represent different evolutionary lineages that independently achieved great size. This phenomenon, known as gigantism, occurred on various continents and islands. It often happened in environments where there were few large mammalian predators or competitors. The absence of flight in many giant birds is also a recurring evolutionary theme. Flight is energetically expensive to maintain, especially for large animals. If ground-based resources were plentiful and threats were manageable, flight could be lost. These birds adapted to life on the ground in spectacular ways. Section 6. Giants of the Sky and Earth. An introduction to prehistoric birds. Now let us turn our attention from ancient reptiles to another group of fascinating giants. These are the giant prehistoric birds that once roamed our planet. The term giant prehistoric bird covers a wide array of large avian species. These birds lived across different geological epochs, from the Eocene to the late Pleistocene. Some even survived until relatively recent times, overlapping with early humans. Giant in this context usually means birds exceeding 2 meters in height, or it can refer to birds weighing several hundred kilograms. Many of these colossal birds were flightless, having lost the ability to soar. These enormous birds were not all closely related to one another. They represent different evolutionary lineages that independently achieved great size. This phenomenon, known as gigantism, occurred on various continents and islands. It often happened in environments where there were few large mammalian predators or competitors. The absence of flight in many giant birds is also a recurring evolutionary theme. Flight is energetically expensive to maintain, especially for large animals. If ground-based resources were plentiful and threats were manageable, flight could be lost. These birds adapted to life on the ground in spectacular ways. Section 7. Terror birds, South America's fearsome feathered predators. Among the most awe-inspiring giant prehistoric birds were the Phorusrhacids, or terror birds. They dominated South America for tens of millions of years. Some even migrated to North America. These flightless birds were top carnivores with powerful legs and massive skulls. Their hooked beaks were deadly weapons. Some stood up to 3 meters tall. And Section 8, gentle giants, elephant birds, moa, and other large herbivorous birds. Not all giant prehistoric birds were fearsome hunters like the terror birds. Many were peaceful herbivores, using their great size for other advantages. Among the most famous of these are the elephant birds of Madagascar. These birds, belonging to the family Epiornithidae, were truly colossal. They survived until relatively recently, becoming extinct perhaps around 1000 to 1200 AD. Their extinction is likely linked to human arrival and activity on the island. Elephant birds were massive, flightless, and fed on plants. They were the heavyweights of the avian world. The largest of the elephant birds was. This species is considered by many to be the largest bird ever to have lived. It could stand around 3 meters, nearly 10 feet tall. More impressively, it may have weighed up to 730 or even 860 kilograms. That is heavier than some species of modern cattle. Elephant birds are also famous for laying the largest known bird eggs. These eggs could be up to 34 centimeters, over a foot, in length. Section 9 echoes from deep time what these discoveries teach us. The discovery of herbivorous crocodiliforms has profoundly changed our understanding. It has reshaped our view of this ancient reptile group. We now know they possessed far greater ecological and dietary flexibility. This is much more than what we observe in their modern carnivorous relatives. These findings show that evolution can lead lineages down unexpected paths. Crocodiles were not always just ambush predators in waterways. Some were terrestrial plant eaters with highly specialized bodies and teeth. This knowledge enriches our picture of Mesozoic ecosystems. Similarly, the fossils of giant prehistoric birds tell a remarkable story. They illustrate the diverse evolutionary journeys taken by avian lineages. We see the repeated evolution of flightlessness on different continents and islands. Gigantism also evolved multiple times, producing birds of astounding proportions. These creatures, from the predatory terror birds to the herbivorous elephant birds, are fascinating. They highlight the incredible biodiversity that Earth has supported in the past. They also show how birds could become dominant players in various ecological roles. Each fossil adds to our appreciation of avian adaptability.